All right, I watched another episode of Stargirl. This being summer cool, summer school, part 5, and it's continuing with the themes of horror, which on some elements work pretty well, and continuing on with they're beginning to suspect perhaps the Shade is not really the villain here. Well, obviously he isn't. He could be, but I mean the real villain is Eclipso. And Cindy still believing she's in charge, but she's really not. There's a scene with her past where she's having nightmares about her father, and then he appears very creepily in her bedroom, and all of that, and she's remembering that. So I'm guessing elements of that will be used against her when she tries to maintain control of Eclipso, and then we'll lose it. I would have thought the way it's set up is that that she would be the host of Eclipso, because that's how that works. But they've already released they've cast the actor that will play him, and shown some promo art of him. So I don't know if this actor will play some guy who gets possessed, but by now I would have thought they would have introduced him. So perhaps it'll just be the true form of Eclipso will appear, and that's how that works. In this episode, he does possess their art teacher at the high school, and poor bastard. But Stargirl does indeed save him, basically irradiating his body with her star step, because hey, it's got to have some radiation in there somewhere. So, oh well. And then Cameron has more of a role in it, and there's still the attraction between the two. But Cindy tries to recruit him, but he turns her down flat. And then he sees his potential opportunities here with Courtney, and Courtney's very much interested, but her duties with the Justice Society comes in. It's almost the classic scenario of Spider-Man, where Peter Parker's about to make it with Mary Jane, but then he's got to run off and be Spider-Man. So same thing here. Well, this appears to push Cameron into a dark place, so perhaps there's still opportunity for him to be taken as well by the Eclipso darkness, what have you. And of course, Courtney's brother, they're still pushing that. And there's a moment where he just wants to have more time with Dad, and Dad's saying, hey, we're going to work on something. And so it seems okay, but something's going to interrupt that, and all that. So he'll get sucked into the new Injustice Society, I guess. So there's finally a battle of sorts with the team at the high school, with Calypso having taken over the art teacher, where the paint actually becomes an animated creature there, as they have to deal with it. But basically, Hourman and Wildcat end up having to face their guilt and whatnot, and whatever's going on with Hourman pursuing Solomon Grundy. And then, of course, Wildcat's guilt over having killed, both brainwaves, more or less. Brainwave, mostly. And then Beth is upset about her parents breaking up. So the Stargirl's the only one holding it together. Anyway, so she saves the teacher, The CGI of the paint, some elements, scenes of it was not bad. Others was really bad, really awful. It's kind of odd how that happens. I'm not sure if it's the lighting of the scene or whatnot. I don't know. But yeah, it was pretty bad towards the end, with all the blobs of paint moving around and stuff like that. So that's about it. It's just sort of carrying on the story as you go, but it does reveal that Stargirl's Star Staff is probably their best weapon against Eclipso. I don't know, and then there's not much else about what's going on with Dr. Midnight being trapped in the dark dimension or whatever, and what's Shade's motivations to get him out, which I'm thinking is what he's trying to do. He says he wants to destroy the crystal. So that's what I earlier had suspected. Are they going to say that Shade and Dr. Midnight were a couple? or Shade had a thing for him and he turned him down, or I don't know. Maybe not. But in today's era, you never know. But something about that. Ultimately, what does that mean? And if Dr. Midnight returns, is he going to be like this mentor figure for Beth, with her parents splitting up and she's all very upset about it? Because she's still so very childlike. You know, the tech nerd template for both, certainly for Lois and Superman and Lois rather, has been completely eliminated so far. It was only one season. With Stargirl, there really isn't that so much, as Dugan, Pat Dugan is the main guy and mentor figure here. So he's more mentor than he is a tech nerd. But Beth clearly is that template of character there, but basically it's just, well, she makes use of the goggles, But I'm kind of wondering if they'll toughen her up, after this one, and that with all this business of darkness and stuff, will she get blinded, and where she needs the goggles to see, because that's the thing. Because even in the original Beth Chapel, as I referenced previously, which I think would have made a better character there, which would have been more. That's an adult character though, so I don't know how that would fit with this high school background and whatnot. But she was blind, so it was a similar thing as to why she followed in the footsteps of Dr. Midnight. So, but anyway, well, not the case. It's probably just they'll reach him. Beth will have some sort of conversation, because she's like her imaginary pal has been the AI of the goggles, because she's such a sad girl. But that she actually gets to meet him, and then he has to sacrifice himself to save them all, or something like that. Whether they'll keep him as a regular character, don't know. It would be cool if they did, but provided they gave him a great character arc and story and whatnot. But anyway, so it's just a so-so episode. So don't hate it, don't particularly love it, but it doesn't. I don't see any of it that did any damage to the series overall, and that sort of thing. It's just a lot of it is like they get dressed up in their outfits and they look kind of silly, and so it's like they don't really know what to do with them, something like that, and it's a bit troubling for the series overall. But anyway, so there you go, Stargirl, Summer School Part 5. Gee, I wonder what they'll call the next episode. I don't know. We'll have to think on that, won't we? Oh, yeah. Thanks for watching and listening. Say, while you're still here, why not like and subscribe and share with your many friends? Yes. Also, check out my mini stores in the link description below. Yes, where you can get t-shirts, hats, mugs, all those goodies with my artwork on them. Oh, yeah. And head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. You can also catch me at my podcast, Mr. Nailsin Show, on RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on BitChute.com and now on Rumble.com. Oh, my goodness. So many places to watch me and my stuff. Oh, yeah. And if that's not enough for you, well, you can follow me on many social media platforms and say hi to your old pal, Mr. Nailsin.